Welcome back to Common Sense. I'm Wendy Bell. We seem to get far more credible information these days, much more actual news from whistleblowers than we ever do from the mainstream media. IRS whistleblowers told us how the Department of Justice investigating Hunter Biden's $8.3 million tax evasion debacle prevented IRS agents from investigating any evidence that led back to Joe Biden. I mean, that's super interesting, right? Whistleblowers told Senator Josh Hawley that the lead site agent in charge of securing the Butler Farm Show complex where President Trump was nearly killed wasn't trusted by other Secret Service agents. She didn't know what she was doing. Why was she even there, right? Mainstream media doesn't tell us that. A whistleblower told us that. This one, though, this whistleblower takes the cake, okay? Because what an ABC insider says happened in the lead up to the debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump suggests there is proof ABC and the Harris campaign colluded on live television, shock, right, in front of a global audience to take on Donald Trump and fact-check him and to make Kamala seem electable. That whistleblower says he has video proof of this collusion, and it gets worse. Like, hey, ABC, why aren't you reporting on this? I bet our panel has some good ideas as to why. Rich Valdez hosts Rich Valdez America at Night on Westwood One. Melanie Collette hosts Money Talk with Melanie on 98.7 The Coast, New Jersey. And Barack Lurie hosts The Barack Lurie Show on AM 870 out of Los Angeles. Mel, let's start with you. You know, signed and notarized affidavit dated September 9th, one day before the debate. This whistleblower reportedly has worked for ABC News for a decade, dropped several bombs. He says ABC News agreed to specific conditions that would benefit Kamala Harris in the debate, including giving her the questions ahead of time and agreeing to fact-check Trump, but not Kamala Harris. So please tell me how huge this is in your mind.
Oh, it's huge. They're supposed to be objective. They're supposed to be moderators. And as we talked about earlier, this just shows you the level of them just not caring. Listen, anyone who has observed Kamala Harris in any type of interview, question and answer situation knows that her demeanor was far too comfortable, far too confident than you've ever seen her. It occurred to me that she clearly got the questions in advance. She's not that quick on her feet. We've seen her do it over and over again, and every time she does it, she fails. But this is huge, and I think I can see why ABC's not talking about it. Would you talk about like your fail, some kind of if you were cheating on someone? Would you talk about it on national TV? You wouldn't.
That was great.
The bad look.
Right. No, I don't disagree with you. How about Barack? I hear you kind of nodding in the background. I mean, It's one thing for ABC not to cover it, but, you know, there's an awful lot of other news outlets out there, guys, and I got a lot of crickets on this.
Well, look, it's a lot of gaslighting going on, telling us that Kamala Harris, really won this debate. She was fantastic. There was nothing wrong going on. This is the constant narrative that we hear from the Democrats and from the media who support the Democrats, generally speaking, that they are not corrupt, that there's no insider shenanigans going on. But of course there are. And we know it. I think the American populace knows this quite well, and they're getting sick of it. What they are doing is just pretending to themselves. They're only lying to themselves. And this only inures to their detriment at the end of the day. If they're not honest about the reporting, if they never actually fact-check themselves about it, can't admit that they've ever done anything wrong. This is what you were talking about, Wendy, before with the Hunter Biden situation and how it might lead to Joe Biden, for example. They never do anything wrong. And the recent rhetoric that we're talking about, all the violence that they're threatening and that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy and so on, and they don't have any responsibility or any part in these two assassination attempts against Trump. So when they can't admit this, and when it's so transparent in the ABC debate, for me, it was very transparent. For you, at the end, it only hurts them, not us.
Well, according to this whistleblower, Rich, Kamala demanded certain topics be off limits, right? Including, like, who is she? Makes me so angry, including questions about her time as California's attorney general, Joe Biden's cognitive collapse, questions about her brother-in-law, who's apparently accused of embezzling billions of dollars in taxpayer funds. Like, we don't need to go there. I mean, this is an affidavit drafted the day before the debate. Is this not incontrovertible evidence that the debate was rigged, Rich?
Well, listen, I think it's clear to me that the debate was rigged from the very beginning. Again, I'm going to repeat what I said before. There's more of them than there are of us in the media and in the government. Across the country, I think patriots win. But when it comes to the media and the government, this is their turf. So they're going to do whatever they want. They're going to drag her across the finish line at the debate. They're going to give her the assist, the alley-oop, the layup. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that she wins on this. That's just how that's going to be. Now, with respect to this affidavit and whatever, I think this is fantastic news. However, I'm skeptical only because what are we doing? Waiting to release it in October? If this person is serious and they have this information, they need to come out, put their name on it, put their face on it, just like Tony Bobulinski did. Put yourself at risk because you know what? You're at risk right now. I'm at risk right now. Everybody here who's saying something positive about America, positive about Trump, the target's on us, and they need to do the same thing.
I agree. Yeah. So when David Muir told the live audience this before the debate began, I mean, listen.
And that brings us to the rules of tonight's debate. 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. No topics or questions have been shared with the campaigns.
Well, I mean, then I guess he would lie about that. I mean, really? America's most watched anchorman lied? How can anybody ever trust ABC News again? Barack, you swing at this one first.
Well, look, if it's true what this affidavit says, then he's got a lot of egg on his face, and for that matter, I mean, he's got to be fired. If that's the situation, that he's really lying to the American people about not sharing the topics with Kamala Harris, and certainly didn't do so with Trump on the even scale. So he's got a lot of explaining to do. And look, at the end of the day, everyone saw this debate. I saw it, and it seemed very palpable to me that it was rigged. And then, of course, it was unfair, regardless of whether it was rigged, that they didn't ask anything of Kamala Harris, and they asked a lot of Trump. So there you go.
Right. It's so ridiculous. Billionaire investor Bill Ackman says David Muir should answer America's questions, and ABC likely will as well, with House members, Melanie, calling for an investigation. ABC's response, the company said it, quote, followed the debate rules that both campaigns agreed on and which clearly state no topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. That's not a denial, Melanie.
No, it's not a denial at all. And we know you clearly stated it. That's why we clearly know that you lied, because we all saw the debate. So she definitely had the questions ahead of time. And here's the thing. I don't think that they don't know that they're wrong, like morally wrong. They just think that they have the moral high ground because Donald Trump is so detestable that they're on their high horse, and they feel as though the ends justify the means. They know that they're wrong. They know that they're doing a bad thing, but they're doing it to save democracy, like every other left-wing lunatic out here.
Because I want you to say it for a third time, Rich. Isn't it true that these people are so used to getting away with it? And is it because they outnumber us in positions where we would need actual honesty and justice?
You know what, Wendy? I'm going to surprise you here. They don't care. I don't care if they really don't. If they outnumbered us or they don't. If they were the minority, they still wouldn't care. Communists are not the majority in this country, and they don't care. They're a minority on college campuses. Maybe today they're a majority, but they don't care. They really don't care about you. You know who they care about? You, me, Barack, Melanie, that are out here trying to make some noise for the truth. And that's why they'll create things like the misinformation board and all of these other things, because they want to shut you up and say that you're a conspiracy theorist and you're crazy, when in reality, these people are a bunch of fakes, phonies, and frauds that are out here trying to fool the people that are just trying to feed their kids and pay their bills and maybe go on a vacation to Disney to get their kid indoctrinated unknowingly, unwittingly. That's where we're at. And it's a vicious cycle. And you know what? People have forgotten, well, not forgotten, they've misunderstood. I think there was a time when everybody was getting fooled. And now there's a lot of people that aren't getting fooled. And this is something that threatens the establishment.
I agree. You guys are awesome. I love having you. Come on back, all three of you. Thank you. All right.